Hello everyone, this is Palladian Star Healer and welcome to this week's What the Fuck forecast. So this forecast is for October 25th to November 1st. So we're going to start. So for those who are new, my What the Fuck forecast entitles what is the current What the Fuck energy or the theme of the week, the hidden energy behind it, the lesson or the purpose of that energy, and how we can shift those what the fuck moments in our life into a blessing. So we're going to start off with what is the current what the fuck energy, and that is reclaim. So the theme for this week is about reclaiming your power. So perhaps you've been giving away too much of your personal power to others. This is definitely trying to teach you to engage more in self-mastery, not to be so reactive, or really knowing when to establish boundaries. I felt that this past week, the energies have been very intense. I feel like last Saturday was the energy of Mercury retrograde in Scorpio was at its highest. So this kind of intense energy could be causing, wars between people, having those battles between friends or family, or perhaps even inner conflict. Okay, so I have found that most have it feels like or seems like people have really lost their minds or really going really through it, through a really big struggle right now, whether that's within themselves or with others. So this is a time for, decisions, moving forward. This feels like even for a time of depression. So some of you may be feeling, depressed, sadness, illness, or perhaps even rehashing of old wounds and past issues resurfacing, so there's just a lot of things coming up, because Scorpio is about, death and rebirth, so you have to die first in order to be reborn. So you may find a lot of past issues are coming up. And so this is definitely a time of practicing self-mastery and to make sure that you're not projecting onto others, okay? And to know that even though they say that, some of the people we engage with are a reflection of what is going on within, but sometimes you also have to practice discernment. And this is where the self-mastery comes in, to really think about and to make sure that perhaps it's not a reflection of you, but their projections onto you. Perhaps you are their lesson on what they need healing. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind as well. Okay, so now we're going to go on to what is the hidden energy behind this reclaiming your power. And we have shadow. So yeah, you see a lot of shadow work is happening here. A lot of old wounds are coming up and triggers and just a bunch of craziness. You probably feel like you're trapped in this crazy roller coaster right now, and just up and down, and everything is changing. Things are transforming, whether in a nice way or very harsh way, because we are again in Mercury retrograde Scorpio, so that is the sign of transformation. So a lot of things are happening. Okay, so the hidden energy behind this reclaiming of power is shadow work, inner healing, finding your shadows reflected in people, and really trying to find the root to your blocks, your wounds, and your limitations. Getting to know yourself a little bit more deeper. If you feel like you've reached a certain point of healing, remember that healing is ongoing. It's a continuous process. So you perhaps right now, if you're finding that you're in this whirlwind of conflict, you have to dig a little bit more deeper, because it's through the shadow is how we Like the first card, we reclaim our power, our personal power, you know, and this also entails holding yourself and others accountable, you know, because sometimes when people fall in and out of our lives, perhaps, yes, they were toxic, but you also have to hold yourself accountable. Like, how could you have been toxic? You know, what part of yourself, you know, reflect, you know, them onto you? You know, where is that relation? Like, what do you guys have in common? You know, that's why this relation had formed. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the lesson. You know, part of the shadow work definitely is accountability. Okay. Because we all choose things, you know, regardless of how toxic a person may be or their behavior. Yes, of course, it's not right. It's not just. I'm not saying, you know, let's make excuses for them. But we also, in some part, have to take accountability. Remember that taking accountability is not shaming, okay? It's definitely not like being very harshly judgmental on yourself and saying, you know, oh, you know, you were an idiot, or, you know, this happened because you allowed it and shame on you, you know, like, no, okay? Let's avoid that kind of harsh self-criticism. You know, self-accountability is saying, you know, yes, I did allow this person to get as far as they did with me, but it's a learning experience, and I don't have to do that no more, and I don't have to allow those things anymore, you know, and that is how you reclaim your power. Taking accountability, and also, you know, not judging yourself so harshly, and just knowing and understanding that everything is a lesson and then you're just learning, okay? So let's see, what is the lesson and purpose of this? 2 cards, and we have trust. Such a beautiful card. These cards are gorgeous. So, you know, the lesson and purpose here is, you know, to trust yourself and to trust the process. Even if rewards don't seem evident, you know, trust your ability to persevere, you know, because if you've made it this far with all your challenges and all the struggles that you've been through, it is evident that you have perseverance, you know, and it's your own negative self-talk that is telling you, you know, you're weak and you can't, and you can't this and you can't that, but you've made it this far. Perhaps it's not in the way that you envision, or you compare yourself to others on how others have overcame their obstacles and challenges, but that is just your own way of self-thinking, you know, but you have made it this far. So you do have the ability to persevere and overcome your challenges, you know. And with this card, you know, consider what's your relationship with trust, you know. And you see here like moths, because, you know, the card has moths on it. So moths are attracted to light. So this, I feel, is like telling you to trust that you will find the light of a particular situation, probably a light, or finding your light, you know, to the shadow. Same how, you know, if you see the shadow card, you know, it has the bat on it, which they're amazing in maneuvering through darkness, you know. So, and, you know, we have air animals, you know, you have like the moth and you have the bat. So this is about movement, you know. So you will find light. You will come to a certain enlightenment within yourself, or to a situation, or with people. Perhaps there will be some shedding of light on the people around you, you know, the company you keep. You'll probably realize a lot more things than before, because, you know, this whole process, especially during this Mercury retrograde, a lot of things are coming to light. Okay, so just take it for what it is. Try not to be judgmental, and just decide accordingly. What needs to stay, what needs to go, and that's it, and continue your journey. All right, so let's move on to the shifting of this what the fuck energy into a blessing. And we have transmute. See, another winged animal. So definitely there's this movement. Okay. So this is definitely about movement. So, transmute. You know that this is about shifting energies, transforming something unfavorable to a favorable outcome, creating a safe space outside yourself and within yourself. 'Cause they always say, your outer experience is a reflection of your inner experience. So it is your responsibility to create a safe space for yourself, for your, outside yourself. So you have to do whatever is necessary to create that safe space, and if that means you have to cut off certain people because they're not contributing to your mental wellness, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, then you have to. Even if you love them and you care for them and even their family, you have to create that space for your own well-being. Okay, so this is definitely asking you to reflect on what needs to change. This could be you. What changes do you need to make in order to contribute your overall wellness, and as the card in the beginning, to reclaim your power? What changes you need to make your environment, relationships, jobs, everything that is in your life right now. So this is a very reflective card. Really got to think. Is a reflective card and an action card, because transmute is to change, to do something. Okay. So and then with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, this of course brings a lot of inner work. Because retrograde is always about going within. And as I had said before, it's like death to be reborn. And I feel like with all these energies, as you do this, especially for this week or the beginning of this week, I feel like you'll find that things will start to harmonize, because I think by October 27th, that is when Mercury retrograde falls into Libra. And this is the sign of balance and harmony. And I feel like that is the big lesson for Libras, is learning to obtain that balance and learning to obtain that peace and that harmony. So definitely for you guys, like, this is the idea, this is the theme, to really start doing some changes, some shadow work, and trusting in yourself and your ability to transmute and to get to where you need to get. And you should start feeling a little bit better, perhaps, and a little, and things really starting to come into balance. All right, so I've been doing a Palladian message at the end of these forecasts, so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to take these. So let's see here. Okay, so let's see what my guide, my Palladian guide Sarah, has to say. And the card we have, very fitting, I guess. We have higher perspective. So let's see here what she says here. How far do you see? Is your sight narrow? For the restriction of vision keeps you stagnant, seeing no other way out or method to your problems. We, the Palladians, ask you to see beyond what is shown, beyond what you are experiencing. Allow the light rays of the universe to illuminate your mind, to cast a shadow of the true purpose of things. Do not become consumed by all that you see, and think that there is nothing beyond this moment, this existence. Your human lesson on this earth is to transcend, to rise above, to see beyond and higher, in ranges that take practice to obtain. Part of this lesson is to understand that not all deserves your attention, that most experiences only act as a distraction, to test your self-mastery and your ability to avoid the vacuum of people's behavior, sucking you into a void of limited vision. You are where you want to be. You are where you choose to be. Your power is movement. Your ability to transmute all lies in your perspective. So that is the Palladium message from my guide Sarah. And of course, I find that her messages are always so lovely and accurate. So that is the end of this week's What the Fuck forecast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some type of insight, and may you find the clarity that you guys seek. And I remember, whatever comes and whatever goes, they're both in your favor. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys all next week. Bye.